So Christ is talking about the end of the age, the destruction of the temple, the signs of the end of the times. Let me see. Okay, yeah. So this has been one of my favorite verses to discuss and debate, and not necessarily argue, but to just bring up, because I've yet to hear a satisfactory answer, in my opinion, to these as a dispensationalist of sorts. That here Christ is saying, and he addresses the Jews, and he says, they, the Jews, will fall by the sword and will be taken as prisoners to all the nations. Jerusalem will be trampled on by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. So you read that, and Christ himself is prophesying and showing that there will be this dispensation period of a Gentile era that will ultimately come to an end, and that the way you will know that it's coming to an end is that Jerusalem will not be inhabited, occupied, trampled on by the Gentiles. Because I'll read that part again. Jerusalem will be trampled on by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. That screams out to us that for the last 1900-esque years, that we have been living in the times of the Gentiles. Absolutely, the torch has been passed to the Gentiles. Jerusalem has been trampled, inhabited by Gentiles, for basically that entire time. After 70 A.D., when the Romans, the Roman persecution of the Jews, and they got scattered. And it's called the diaspora of the Jews. And Augustine talks about that, and so many of the saints talk about that. It's like the Jews were scattered to amongst all the nations, just as Christ predicted in the Old Testament prophets. And so, but the key part of that verse is that it says, until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. So we know that there will be a time where Jerusalem will not be primarily trampled on by the Gentiles any longer. And that will be indicative of the times of the Gentiles are being fulfilled.